Do you want to know why a whole bunch of my friends stabbed me in the back? And I was like, well, my goodness, why couldn't you just do it from the front? Precisely. It's because they became devious, these ladies. Ceasing to be ladies, now they're just monsters. I was like, girl, who'd have thunk it? Never thought you'd ever be the first one to go out like that, but you were. It's because they ended up with some menacing men. Yes. There is a strategy currently by the devil, the ominous one, the beast, the 666 guy, to mix women together with like wretched men and then convert these women into Jezebels. Now, once you have a Jezebel in the town, you've got a woman that's running a man like he's a little girl. That's what's good. So they meet bad guys, and these bad guys turn them into the kinds of bad women that run entire communities. And so we end up with a matriarchy that's very nefarious, much like that which happened in Israel when Jezebel was running the show. So South Africa is basically wearing panties. I want to just put this out there. Women, you are violently evil. Just incredibly. More so even than your men. But herein lies the kicker, okay? You are as evil as you are, precisely because men made you evil. How can I describe it? It's like baking powder. Yeah, hey? You put it in some cake, and then boom, you've got like a whole big fat boovy loaf of bread. Yeah. The men are like leaven. Yes, indeed. They are a little leaven, but they leaven the whole loaf, which is you as a woman. So you meet a little bit of a Dumbo boyfriend, and then he goes on right ahead and makes out of you a gangster, like a monster, like a beast, like a virulent Jezebel, like as in Ahab and Jezebel in Israel. You start out being the sweet Kenyana girl, and you meet a dude that's just a no-brainer, but his no-brainer ways make out of you a monster. So South Africa right now is being run by a bunch of dirty females. That's kind of made it overt, clear to me that there is a danger hovering around the atmosphere and the ecosystem over there. It's basically burning a hole in the ozone layer, the way that it is so toxic. And this like danger is the gargantuan monstrosity of a female. And this female has been made like that by a little man. Not even that grand. Didn't even have to be a little bit of a beastly King Kong on a mountaintop bashing his chest like he's also Tarzan. No. The guy just had to be under the lady in terms of moral character for the woman to get converted into something even more monstrous than the guy. Yeah, this thing of you guys just settling for anything that comes along, any guy that's like, hello sweethearts, yeah, and you just kind of like take him, I'll run with it because like I'm sprinting down the aisle, has converted you into more evil women than these men ever have been. So God is judging the world through these little Jezebels all over the show. So like not much apparently, allegedly, according to the Lord of the Universe, you know, concerning like a theme-a-bobby I'm observing here. Guys, there's a problem in the sky, alright? And it's called horrible woman. Horrible woman syndrome, otherwise known as HWS. Yes, guys, HWS is a disease across the world. Yeah, but the pathogen that causes such disease is meager guy syndrome, otherwise known as MGS. Yes, so these pathogens come into the lives of decent girls, at least moderately, more or less decent females, and then once these things come on board, there then is like a whole issue with the woman becoming kind of gargantuan, a monster. Yeah, and then the world gets teeming at the folds with very heavily influential females that then make men also want to be like girls. Who run the world? No. It's supposed to be. I can't stop recording this particular message. Like the devil has been trying to infiltrate a really bad man into my life, and I'm like, but I'm cool, you know, like I don't want him. However, the strategy lingers, and I went to the Lord and I was like, stop with that. Like, why is it lingering? Why don't they see that I don't want him? And the Lord said to me that a little leaven, my dear, leavens the whole loaf. You don't even have to be with a monster of a guy, like a menacing freak, like a murderer or a rapist or a psychopath. You just need to be with a slightly, literally, ever so slightly compromised dude, morally, you know, petty thief or something, or just a little bit of a lukewarm Christian, for you to be turned into a beast. Because the devil uses these men in the relationship with women to basically ruin them so much, wreak havoc in their life so much, that the response by these females is to become menacing, grimacing, monstrous, like Medusa, converting women into menacing beasts through small little men. I'm like, okay. You guys have heard of the terminology Hegelian dialectic. Yeah. It's basically this like strategy to decimate an ecosystem, just like really ruin it, throw a bomb in it, like a nuke. Radiation spreading wide and everything, only for you to rock up with a little helicopter to evacuate individuals as these that have been poisoned by radiation, maybe even burned beyond recognition. Then to discover later on that this helicopter was the very one that dropped the nuke. So they cause the disaster, following which they then come up with the rescue effort as well. There is a gargantuan Hegelian dialectic strategy happening against the females of the earth, and it's called wretched guy that knows nothing at all about Jesus rocking up in your life to rescue you at the time when you need rescuing most, having not realized, however, that he's the one that threw you in that hole in the first place. Witchcraft. I was like, know why? Ladies, it is naive to think you can build a man, come together with a dude that's a little bit of a, crawler, like the dude is yet to walk, and you think you can potty train him, make him walk, and then one day perhaps he might just run. Hey, guess what? Perhaps even fly. Do you know what the error in that is? Men look at such females as their moms, but if you're not their mom, you're bigger than them. And so because you're bigger, they will inevitably feel emasculated by the gargantuan thing you are. Once a man feels emasculated by your strength and therefore your grooming powers over him, he will become passive aggressive. And when he's passive aggressive, he's not going to validate you, praise you. He is not going to elevate you. One day he might even take it to the nth degree and kill you. So South Africa, your men are wimpy precisely because women keep letting guys that are too small for them come into their lives because they think they can fix them. Stop trying to fix men. They're supposed to be the ones fixing stuff, not the other way around. If you meet a man that is a cutie pie, he's really handsome, and so because he's handsome, you're like,
oh snappity doop, I've got myself a handsome dude. Can you imagine how cute the babies are gonna be?
Just do that for a minute. Take a little bit of a breather. Put on the dead brakes. Because cuteness is not the equivalent of manhood, okay? If a dude is crawling around on the floor, doesn't really matter how cute he is, he will be a burden to you one day. Even if you're the female that helped him get on his knees, and then ultimately on his feet, since you found him just kind of hovering around on his stomach like a baby. Understand? You cannot correct the status quo of this man and then later on in the future stay his ride or die. He's going to leave you for a weaker woman. They like them weak. I would know. You know why? Because I've had men deliberately trip me up because they thought I was cute so they can come and rescue me. They have a thing about rescuing. So if you think you can rescue a man, you're gonna end up a monster. It's what the Lord is showing me about what's going on. I mean, this thing here, stop, cease and desist. Listen up. Take this in your strong. Understand you're going to be harmed dangerously so. If you don't listen. Men are not to be gazed upon the way that we gaze upon women. We're the ones whose beauty gets us very far in life. They're the ones that are visual, that upon seeing something pretty, they're like, oh, I like it. But if you look at a man, you see something pretty, you're like, oh, you like it. He doesn't have other things that make him a man to basically supplement whatever it is that is his outward beauty. You are in trouble. Young women especially, you like dating cute guys. My goodness. They're cool insofar as they're manly. That's why society is so effeminate, why everybody's freaking popping out of the closet when you're 5 years into marriage. You women need to stop trying to rescue men. They're supposed to rescue you. A society full of women pulling men out of the dregs is a society that is a matriarchy and therefore will never ever really truly have muscle. You are putting yourself in a position to be gender-based violenced one day. Short of mine, I'm currently ranting, as you can tell, and the rant has been inspired by this Hegelian dialectic model of trying to come into my life after ruining it. Yes. Women are apparently allegedly getting too strong for certain men, but because they want them anyway, and they also feel a grandiose amount of entitlement to handle them, put them underneath their fingers, and pretty much subdue them to the manhood that's made up. Understand that what's going on now is the decimation of females' lives in order for men to come and rescue them, because men are sick and tired of being rescued by women. I personally rescued my own ex-boyfriend from basically just the dregs of squalor. He was a no-brainer, drug addict, frankly just dying in the next year or two, and I resuscitated him out of that. He turned around later on, afflicted by the fact that I was so much larger than him, and then abused the crap out of me with witchcraft. That's what happens when you try to rescue a man. So tlokelang bana and wait on the Lord for bana. Okay, really got Jay-Z. Yes. Like a diaper, and Beyonce was groveling around in a hut on the floor like a mop. And I'm like, girl, ain't you rich? Exactly. That's just my thing. In the sight of God, there is no such wealth, but more than that, what that metaphorically meant was that Beyonce has been made to clean up up, groveling on the floor, the agenda of a man that's essentially is yet to get out of diapers, and that's why she's become so evil today. Yeah, I don't like dreaming about celebrities or whatever. That dream is God telling me what's happening with women all over the show. You like believing in this power couple nonsense rubbish thing so much that like that Nandipa lady, you will even take Utabo Besta out of prison and harbor a fugitive, destroying your whole entire life for a man. A little namby-pamby boy that is so cute, so handsome, and so it's worth it for you to go and protect a rapist. That's what's happening to women. Tatano Jesu, little Mubana, and he will bring men that are of sound mind to your door. Has been trampled underfoot by men and women alike. Just monstrosities, beastly randos. Women, however, are helping men finish me off or enter my life via some pernicious strategy of a diabolical nature, so they can convert me into the sob-storied, sorrowful, decimated female that they all are. Women, you know that's a whole thing. These men have ruined you, or at least your character, hate your lives, you can't stand your children, and as a result, you now want every woman to meet that one dude that's gonna make them a Gorgon, that one dude that's gonna make them Medusa, a woman that hates all men but is pretending to be happy in a marriage or a relationship of some strange sort. Do you? I, however, have understanding of such things as these, so I'm not interested. I also do not care for a guilt that does not repent. Bottom line is, females of the future, the teenagers, get strategy, avoid such a thing as that. So you want to know why I'm single at 38? You also want to know why I'm bankrupt at 38, despite being all this gifted. Yeah, I'm so smart. Yeah. It is because a conglomerate of men and women in my country have seen it fit to keep me suffering for as long as I don't have, guess what, literally a random in my life, like Ikundwani, something that just needs to have its tail chopped off because it's a lizard, and it has wormed its way into my life. They want me to get taken or rescued by some random Hegelian dialectic influenced or inspired man. What's that sitting next guy here? So small in size in comparison to me, not nearly as intelligent, however, he has got all the things that I need to be slightly more comfortable than what I am right now, and so I'll just grab it because I'm suffering a whole bunch. No, I'm cool, because the ramifications in the end are the Jezebels that you are. I don't want to be turned into a Gorgon. I don't want to be a monster female. I don't want to be a mama that don't like her own kids. I don't want any other ramifications of ending up with a bad man. So you can keep your little Satan-induced random generation of females. Herein lies the advice of the Crown King. I'm 38, so you want to listen to me. I've got sage wisdom. Do you want to know why a whole bunch of my friends wreaked havoc in my life? Yeah, it has something to do with a man. Largely, you know what, if I said grand majority, that is an underestimation. It is literally all of them. All of my friends that became beastly, all of my friends that became monstrous. Everybody that was a female in my life that went in the path of Beelzebub, they did that because some dude rocked up, drew circles around the floor around them, and it turned out later that those circles were pentagrams. Oh snap. Evil men that God infiltrated into their lives and turned them to Satan. They ended up involved in sorcery, hated pregnancies that they bore for these men, realized that it's too far gone now since I got a baby with this gangster. Then they turned all beastly against the girlfriend. Yeah, so back to never lawyer because baratile bana baratang boloi. I had some of the freshest, kindest, most benevolent friends under heaven once upon a time. We were sophist Lahlane, okay? And nobody could tell us anything. Loved them. Both in my family and extraneously. Sadly, however, these females became menacing because of guess what? Men. Y'all know, I'm not busy calling men wicked here. I'm busy calling the men that they ended up with wicked, yeah. They date little bastards out here in these streets, scrubs, and then they get themselves nastily impregnated. Following which and then become menacing and beastly against their former females. Yeah, it's like, I see a trend over here. So women, listening to my penoke banna belesa di sakarabo lesa dan. Ulukile na ke na le modimo ake. Over there, do you want to know what converted a lot of my friends to the beastly females that they became ultimately? Do you want to know what made them turn my back and then drive a knife into it? Yeah. It was always impregnating themselves through a beastly human individual that was a dark, dark man. And as a result, they then hated their lives, following which They decided that I'm going to get impregnated by a beastly, dark man. The thread is literally that common amidst all of my former friends who are now my enemies. They gave babies to evil men and then they turned on me. So, women, stop hating on me. What you need to do is repent and give your life to Christ so that you don't end up a menacing beast in society, wreaking havoc in the lives of other women because some dude done ruined your life. I'm just y'all. I keep getting the same sort of kind of notification bell going off in my dreams. And this notification is something along the lines of, watch out, beware, danger, gevaar, ingozi. Something is impending, the females of your environment, and they are dead. They are asleep, and they refuse to be defibrillated from out of their slumber. There is a strategy to perniciously worm in some darkling men into their lives, and the strategy is to launder the reputation of these men through these women, but not before converting the women into Jezebels. I feel as if that was a hellish strategy. Guys, if you're women, do this. Turn your lives to Christ so you don't end up unequally yoked with a bum. That's what's good. What's up, you guys? I dreamed about celebrities last night. I don't like dreaming about them because I never understand my dreams, and I also feel as if though there are bigger things we need to focus on over here, but apparently not according to God, since they're so influential. So I come and I speak anyway. I dreamt about Casper Nyovesta and AKA, both of them just kind of hovering around, bouncing up and down. It's not the first time I've dreamt about these two just pairing with each other. The one is dead, the other one is alive. I don't know what it means. All I know is that Casper Nyovesti, you're hanging around AKA a tad bit too much in my dreams for my comfort. I truly hope this does not imply that you might as well be AKA. I don't know what it means, you guys. I'm just sharing it because it's what I saw. I keep dreaming about the guy with AKA. You feel before you find yourself in a strange place again. I woke up this morning to wholesome dreams, you guys, and I was like, oh, what weird dreams are these? In the one dream, Beyonce, apologies, she was downtrodden, living in a shack, like squalor, you know, informal settlement. Yeah, I'm like, but you're Beyonce, what's going on here? And then on the other side, I saw Jay-Z, and he was in a diaper. I was like, but you're a grown man. What's going on? And then I saw their firstborn child. You know who that is? And she had devil horns and a devil spiky tail. And I was like, but you're just a child. What's going on? And the Lord was like, that's exactly the strategy of the devil on the earth. Grab incontinent men that have no self-control, hence the diaper. Make them meet women who are morally bankrupt in order to produce children that'll be the spawn of Satan in the future. And I was like, that's kind of deep. Dear females, listen up. I know you don't want to listen sometimes, but try. For all of 5 seconds. I'll try then and keep it 5 seconds short. Listen, you are laundromats, you know? Like a washing machine kafam. Maybe even a mop, perhaps a scoropo. Yeah. You are a fardugi. Something that cleans dirty stuff. Yes. From what the Lord is showing me, dear females, there is like a whole coup stunt in the kingdom of darkness to grab some really cigars. What are you doing? Pair them with really great girls in order to attempt to launder the reputation or the general status quo of these men. But it doesn't really work to launder the men. It just makes the women Jezebels. Yeah. You just become satanic, incredibly harlotrous, and then you pride yourself being next to somewhat of a Baphomet husband. Yeah. I would greatly recommend you turn to Christ to avoid ending up with a little bit of a Baphomet. It's so unfortunate you don't adore me. You keep encircling the Bay Hive like she's worthy of being followed. I am the kind of person you should follow her. You know why, you guys? Because I've got some nuggets of understanding to give you that might rescue you from the general thing that a lot of men are doing. Like, here lies the deal. They hop around like little bunny rabbits all throughout their lives doing massacring things. And then when their reputations are stymied, stifled, and devastated, they're like, I'm gonna look for a great girl so that I can go on right ahead and clean myself with her. You become a scoropo for these guys. Tell me something. A scoropo, have you ever taken a like kitchen towel and changed it into a scorobo? It never gets clean. So they use you to launder themselves, but in the end you end up kinda gangster. I feel as if they'll follow me instead of Beyonce.